Hello, darlings and rats! Today I'm doing a little audition. So first I'll say Alita's lines, and I might attempt to do her little laugh, but it will be bad. I'm not good at laughing. I'm still learning that part, so I will try. And then, yes, I will sound a little cringy. I know. And then I'm gonna try narrating it. And I probably won't do the laugh for the narrating version. And what happens when everything goes back to normal? Normal? I don't even know what's normal for you. I'm not that important. None of us mean anything. Normal. Is it normal killing off the person you're supposed to love with all your hearts? We should all just stab each other in the back, huh? Now you're scared? Scared of what? Gods, I don't get it. Why don't you care? What's the point of having a child if you don't want to care? Help them! Someone help them now! They can still be saved! Fix them! Please! Another try at that last part because I just wanted to see if I could do it any better. Help them! Someone help them now! They can still be saved! Fix them! Please. Okay, that's it for that one. And now I'm gonna do the narrating version. Give me a moment. Okay. And what happens when everything goes back to normal? Alita cried. Her pale blue eyes were blazing with a fierce heat as they stared into the eyes of her parents. The eyes she told me about that night in the sand. The eyes that I didn't know well enough to hate, but knew well enough to see how much I could despise. The eyes of the war. Normal? Alita scoffed, loathing dripping from each word she spat out. I don't even know what's normal for you. Her knuckles were wide around the handle of her glinting dagger. Alita, I whispered, placing my left hand on her right shoulder as she started to laugh. No, she wasn't laughing. This wasn't a giggle, a snorting noise caused by glee. I couldn't tell if she was just being hysteric. A clear sheen coated her eyes. Her veins were visibly red and exhausted beneath it. I'm not that important, she smiled. None of us mean anything. Alita, her father started sternly as he fiddled with his gold-chained necklace. Normal. She was in full tears now, her voice still cackling in the small tent. Is it normal? Killing off the person you're supposed to love with all your hearts? She smiled, her lips stretching mechanically as if she were a drying, yet still malleable, clay pot. We should all just stab each other in the back, huh? She then took a step forward. Her parents took a step back. Now you're scared? She sneered. Scared of what? Gods, I don't get it! She enunciated her words. She then took another step closer to her parents and crescendoed with her words. Why don't you care? What's the point of having a child if you don't want to care? We care. We care so deeply for you. That is why we are doing this, her mother stuttered as she apprehensively tugged on the seams of her silky white toga. It's all for you. Alita was now trembling so profusely that I sort of wanted to remove my hand. I can't say the word remove right. I didn't. Her voice wasn't much better. I wanted to wrap my arms around her and put my fist in everyone else's faces. They continued to go back and forth, but my mind was too scrambled to catch any more of the conversation. My brain felt like a child's. It had to be rewoven and reattached to the right sources. There was always a right way to do something. There is always something right to do. All I remember is that it got to yelling by the time soldiers flooded the flimsy tent. Wait! I stepped to Alita's side. I don't remember doing so, but I must have, because her quaking hand was being held by mine and stayed that way as a man's calloused hand seized my wrist. Suddenly, a gruff voice yelled something, and it went silent for the most part. I think it was my captive's. After just a moment had passed, the somewhat soundless piece was removed. I suddenly felt as if I was viewing the scene from an outside eye, just above my head. Help them! I heard Alita wail through the pandemonium. Someone help them now! They can still be saved! Sorry. They can still be saved! Fix them! There was no response to her pleas. Please. she whispered. Everything was fuzzy and everyone was loud. Someone shouted at Alita. I tried to open my mouth, but all that came out was a squeak, a quiet noise and a rumble of clamoring voices. Alita seemed to have loosened her grip on the silver dagger, and it fell to the ground with a metallic clang, but the soldiers never stopped dragging us. Something was wrong about the weapon. I could see that now. As the clouds parted and the glow of the moonlight hit, I could now see it. Some kind of liquid that drenched the blade, and it was now covered in a layer of garnet red, traced to show that it had been dripping. My heart was palpitating faster and faster with every passing second. Each droplet scattered across the barren earth was a trail leading from the grey tent. There, 2 pale bodies laid still on the ground. The 2 bodies both had bloody cuts that led into their guts. I could just make out the gold chain shackled around one of their necks in the dim light. I couldn't see what that one was wearing, but the other wore a beautiful silky white toga. Its appeal was somewhat marred by the blood seeping from their wound, but from afar they just seemed like a handsome couple, without the voices, without the expressions. If you looked beyond the gore, I can't talk. If you looked beyond the gore, they looked normal. They looked like completely new people. It was an odd sight. Soon the people stopped crowding us, and it was only me, Alita, and the 2 beefy guards that were hauling us along. My eyes seemed to be fixed on one position. I couldn't turn my head to see Alita, who was to my right, I'm losing my mind. I couldn't turn my head to see Alita, who was to my right, I think, or the seaside on the other side of me. It felt eerily tranquil, yet tense. It was like the world was holding its breath, but it wasn't running out of air. In my dictionary, if you stopped breathing, that meant you were deceased. The issue here, the earth didn't seem dead at all, just distant. Despite Alita's panting, the night was silent. By the time the 2 bodies began to fade from view, I could tell no one was coming to help them. Okay, so I did mess up a few times reading that. More than a few. But that was the farthest I made it so far, so that's the narrating version of the audition. Anyway, you guys should go check this person out. They have a good voice and they're a good writer. Anyway, bye bye, darlings and rats.